Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be reviewing 45 plus resumes in one go. So, pretty much, I already spent some time thinking about how I'm going to streamline looking at this many resumes, and I came up with five different steps. And I came up these steps referencing how Google does it, how Amazon does it, how Meta does it, how I like to do it, how I like to make my resumes. And yeah, so we're gonna go through a few steps. The first step is making sure that their resume is formatted and structured correctly. So yeah, we need to make sure that they have clear sections and there's no weird formatting and long paragraphs. Step two is pretty much just looking at the basics of the content, figuring out the graduation date, making sure they have their internships, their projects, their leadership, their work experience, etc. Step three, we're going to actually dive a little bit deeper into their bullet points to make sure that each bullet point hits. So, yeah, making sure that they are results oriented, there's metrics, and it follows a very specific format that I like, which is accomplish X as measured by Y by doing Z. And then afterwards, I'll just make some notes if they need to tailor it. And probably we'll just do a last gut check to see if I would actually move this person forward for an interview. So yeah, that's about it. And we're gonna be going through a ton of resumes, so you're gonna see exactly what it's like on the other side as a recruiting manager when you just get a ton of resumes you have to look at, and you'll see like how and when a resume actually stands out. So yeah, let's get this started. Give me a sec. So the first resume is a student from the University of Berkeley. So let's just look through. Do they have clear sections? Yeah, they have education, relevant coursework, technical skills, professional experience, projects. So one thing that I'll just know straight off the bat is education and relevant coursework. These aren't separate sections. You should mix in the coursework with the education section. It's the same thing. Also, why is your project's font smaller than the other sections? So those are the two things related to sections that you have there. What else? Yeah. Do you have any leadership? Anything you did for leadership? Any clubs or any coding competitions? Caesar, thanks for the dono. Appreciate you. Um, what else? Graduation date is included, which is good. School is pretty good. What else? Okay, now let's dive deep into the bullet points. Implemented CI/CD pipelines for .NET and Angular microservice using multi-stage YAML workflows supporting AWS. Okay, where's the metrics here? Well, I guess you don't really need metrics. You got metrics over here. Deployed REST API endpoints to improve DynamoDB user lookups by 88%, reducing average query time from 25 seconds to 3 seconds, enhancing. I like that bullet point. Results oriented and has metrics. Developed 80 plus unit tests across front end and back end using xunit.karma. Automated bullet points. Automated development and production deployments to AWS S3 Lambda and API with CloudFormation. Engineered a CI. You need to move all of your metrics and results to the front. So you could reformat this bullet point something like reduced release cycle time by 54% by automating development and production cycles, etc. That way when people read your bullet points, they see your impact right away, and then they see your impact and they see how you did it. So if they're just reading, most people, they won't even get to the end of that bullet point. So if they're just reading from top to bottom, left to right, you need all of your metrics like aligned to the left. Basically, it should be reduce release cycle time by 50%, uh, reduce average query time by 25 seconds to 3 seconds. So that's why I like the format here of accomplish X as measured by Y by doing Z. So you talk about your accomplishment and how you measured it, and then you say how you did it. That way that when they're reading their bullet points, even if they only read halfway through each of your bullet points, they already know what you accomplished and how it was measured. And that's really what companies care about is what were the results that you've driven in your previous roles. So overall, I think it's a decent resume. You have some good work experience, but other than that, yeah, pretty good resume. Maybe add some leadership. Maybe make your bullet points pop a little bit more when it comes to all the advice I just gave. Some of your bolding is not consistent. Like here, like you're bolding metrics, but here you didn't bold it. So, all right, next. Okay, let's look at this. Formatting and structure. Okay, how's their formatting? Education at the top, nice. Experience, projects, technical skills, achievements. I like coming off right away. I like how this person's sections are more than than the previous one. I think it's because yeah, for some reason I just like how the sections look here. That's just personal preference. So yeah, it has all of the relevant things, and look here, it has an achievements area or achievements section, which is good, because now I know. Now here they can show off some of the things that they did, like member of the IEEE. That's pretty cool. Texas A&M best project for deepfake. So here's you can kind of show off other things not related to your job, other things that you achieved in your studies or in your life. Okay. Graduation date included. Yes, that's good. Internships. Okay. Yeah. I like so far the different sections that you included. Now let's dive into the bullet points. Working on the development of the agentic AI system. So this is vague. What does this agentic AI system do? Tell me exactly what this agentic AI system does. Design and develop cross-platform analytics for WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, enabling ads, traffic analysis, and performance insight while also building unified dashboards to visualize sentiment trends, engagement, and review summaries. Okay, is there any like what was the reason for this project? You're telling me what you did and that's good, but if you could show me exactly, usually the resumes that hit better are the ones that are results oriented, contain metrics, and show the business impact of the work that they do. Implemented social monitoring with bilingual sentiment analysis and AI powered reply automation for Google reviews, Instagram, and Facebook. And collaborated with cross functional teams to develop the agentic AI module for autonomous task handling. Okay, let's look at. So with this one, I would throw in what technologies you're working on here. I don't know what technologies you're using here. So that would be helpful, especially with your work experience. It's important to know what technologies you're using at work. Okay, yoga posture. See, now you have the technologies. The way that you should you should add the link at the end. Why is the link here? You should have the name of the project, then maybe the link, and then the tools and technologies, or just have the name first. I found that weird. Some of your spacing is off. Develop, yeah, I don't know. That's all my feedback for this resume. Moving on to the next one. Okay. Okay. So let's look at the sections. Clear section, education, experience, projects, leadership here as well. So you could see a lot of people have leadership. The first guy didn't really. Okay, I like the sections. Let's dive deep into the sections. Okay, you got the expected graduation date. We have clear sections, which is good. Relevant coursework is in the education. That makes sense. Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, minor in Financial Technology. Cool. Okay, let's dive deep into their work experience here. Built a crawler to pull federal contracts from sam.gov using Python to reduce manual processing for departments. Integrated AWS Bedrock to score contract relevance using department capabilities to filter out low quality listings. Stored filtered contracts in MySQL and upload linked documents to So now you're kind of listing what you're doing day to day. I think the bullet points could be improved a lot. The bullet points are a bit weak. The bullet points needs to be results oriented, not just responsibilities. So for example, imagine my experience was, oh, did code reviews, was on call, built an API. You know what I mean? Though those points don't really hit. But if it's results oriented, built a public API to launch our company globally, that one hits more. So yeah, more results oriented. You need to work on this portion, this experience and accomplishments portion. You need to have metrics and impact clearly stated. You need more results oriented, not just your responsibilities. And each bullet point should follow this. You accomplish X as measured by Y by doing Z. So think about all the work that you did and try to figure out what were the projects that your work like built up into. Why were you even doing these responsibilities? Why were you even doing that day to day? How did it tie in with the business? And bring that into the resume. Okay. Next, Hunter College, University City University of New York. Okay, let's look at their sections. Education, technical skills, experience, projects. Okay, maybe if you done any leadership or if you did any yeah, if you have any leadership or activities or anything like that, you could probably add a new section for that. But what I would do is move these technical skills on all the way to the bottom because for me, I think it's these are more just for straight ATS because I want to see your education and work experience right away. This is your work experience is getting hidden a little bit. But yeah, the sections look good. You have links everywhere, which is good. Okay, who would I proceed forward with the interview at a high level? Let's see. Okay, I would proceed with this guy because he has some solid work experience. I mean, this person I would probably proceed with an interview. This person, this person I would put on wait list. I'll hold off. And who am I doing? Okay, we're looking at who are we looking at so far? Who's the last person that I left off at? This person. Start deleting these. Okay, so one person waitlisted. Okay, what are the different sections? Okay, they have clear sections, no leadership activities, which is fine. I'd move this part to the bottom because there's more for ATS. What else? Graduation date is included. Your GPA is included. Everyone should include their GPA unless it's under a 3.0 or 3.1. Don't include it. Or 3.0. 3.0. Don't include it. Related coursework. Web development. Whatever. Okay. Let's look at the context. Let's look at the actual bullet points. Develop the front end of a new website using React.js and CSS, implementing responsive, accessible, and user-friendly UI components. Collaborate with the new design team to translate Figma mockups into functional web pages, ensuring responsiveness to different sizes. Develop scalable web services using React.js and Node.js to support cloud-hosted AI-driven medical workflows, decreasing patient intake time by 75%. Integrated NLP models for medical coding automation and built a fault-tolerant computer vision pipeline, leveraging Python to improve data entry efficiency. Deployed services using Vercel. Participated in So, I think these points are decent. These ones could get more work. These ones are better and more technical, which is good. But some of them are just filler. Deployed services using Vercel. You should improve those bullet points. Just make those bullet points hit harder. Figure out what more you can say besides just deploying it to Vercel. Did you do anything more than just deploying it to Vercel? You can make this bullet point cooler. I can't think of anything in the spot, but that's homework for you. Perform system-level functional and regression testing on pre-release versions of Google Bard, identifying built 40+ Python-based unit integration tests. Okay, I think it's a decent resume. Some of the bullet points could be improved. Just follow what I said over here of just having better metrics, more results oriented and not just responsibilities. Try to think of what are the big things that you drove at the company or drove at your internship or drove at school, and how the work that you did ties into that, so you can talk about that. Yeah. It's solid resume. Built a full stack use web application supporting real-time collaboration to 20. Develop REST APIs. Designed risk scoring. I think it's decent. It's decent. I would work on what I said. Okay, now this one just straight up has way too much text compared to the other ones. Graduated in 2019. Let's see. So we have work. Okay, what are the sections? Work experience, projects, skills, education. The main thing here is that it just has a ton of text, but it's already looks like a good resume. But let's look at the actual bullet points. Architect and deployed a role-based access control system supporting 15K users with Express and MongoDB, streamlining onboarding workflows for faculty and administrators and enabling secure, scalable access in real time. Implemented automated monitoring, alerting, and logging pipelines using ELK stack, increasing system reliability and reducing downtime during critical operations by 40%, ensuring uninterrupted service for users. So I think with this resume, you're bolding different technologies, but mostly what people like to bold is the metrics. So that's one thing I'll think about. Try both. Try with just bolding the metrics and see how that pops, and then bold the technologies. But I really like actually how you're mixing in your metrics. Like everything has metrics. You're showing some of the results, and the technologies are there too. Optimize localization search to handle 10K queries per minute with less than 200 milliseconds latency by redesigning indexing and caching strategies in ASP.NET. Improving translation responsiveness by 30% for enterprise gaming clients. See, this person's resume is actually really good. It's super technical. It has metrics. It shows that it shows like the impact. It sounds complicated when I read it. This is a solid resume. I'm trying to see what we can improve here. Improve. So what we can do here is maybe try this for some of your bullet points, but try accomplish X as measured by Y by doing Z. So what that means is you could bring that up over here. So you could say improve translation responsiveness by 30% for enterprise gaming clients by optimizing localization search to handle 10K plus queries per minute with 200 millisecond latency. By like something like that. I don't know. I would just try that. So when I say accomplish X as measured by Y by doing Z, sometimes it doesn't really matter the order, but sometimes usually it's best in this order, but some candidates can make it work moving this order around, like the X, Y, and Z around. And this resume right here is a good example of that. Yeah, honestly, no concerns here. Just make sure that you're tailoring the resume for the right company that you're applying for, but super technical resume, and I would definitely like move forward for interview if I saw this. All right. That was pretty much everyone here right now. So who's this next person? University of Victoria student. So first off, the way the way the sections are formatted feels a little weird to me. Out of all the other ones, the sections here look the weirdest. But they have their skills. I would move the skills to the bottom. Then yeah, education, work experience, projects. If there's any leadership, I would add that to the bottom. So leadership activities, I would add that to the very bottom. If he has any, I'm pretty sure this person does have some. And JNA, I'm in the... Yeah, you can send it in the Discord, but I don't know if I'll get to it right now. Because I already started on all these, but... Yeah, it has all the links. Let's see. So what this person is missing is they need to put their graduation date. That's very important. I don't even know when this person is going to graduate. So let's look at some of their bullet points. Develop multiple freelance custom web development projects from scratch with React, Tailwind CSS for local business and e-commerce stores. Achieved over 500,000 cumulative views across all projects and generated over 2,000 revenue. See, I like this bullet point because it just shows, it highlights the results he drove and it has the metrics. But the bullet point is kind of short. Increase performance of website load times, responsiveness, and SEO utilizing Next.js features. Stored product data, appointment bookings, purchase order fulfillments, and client manipulation with Node.js. So you could already see the difference between this person's resume and the last person's resume when it comes to the technical depth of their bullet points. So you could still take a look at the last person and try to just improve your bullet points. These bullet points are good, but they don't sound that technical. But I do like how they have the results and have metrics in some of them. Okay, looking at this resume. First off, the sections aren't clearly delineated. It's hard to know when you're going from education to skills to relevant experience. It just looks like all one big section. So I think it just needs better delineation between the sections. You kind of have it here, but it's not my favorite way to like delineate the different sections. So what sections do they have? Education, skills, relevant experience, projects, and associations. This is good because then it shows me sort of what clubs that they're interested in. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes recruiters or hiring managers see that you went to a specific club that they like, and then maybe that's something you could talk about, especially in the interview. So yeah, clear sections. Graduation date is included. Perfect. GPA is included. Talks about their major and minor. Relevant coursework. Maybe you could add some more. Skills, throw that to the bottom. Yeah, the sections are hard to see, but okay. Let's look at the let's read a few of the bullet points and just make sure that it has these are solid bullet points. Develop HIPAA compliant software solutions with TypeScript, integrating AWS SDK for efficient storage and retrieval using S3 and DynamoDB. Led the creation of a dynamic scheduling feature with React Big Calendar, improving user experience and streamlining operations. Yeah, the where you can improve this is just by adding metrics and just having more results oriented. This is kind of just saying what you did, but what was the result of it? Applied MongoDB, Express.js, and React Node.js best practice from design to deployment, optimizing system functionality and contributing. Utilize knowledge. So these just sound the bullet points could be improved a lot. They don't sound that technical. They sound a little bit basic. So when I read this resume, it just seems like a early student resume. So yeah, you could make these bullet points pop a lot more, make them sound more technical, make them sound more impressive. That's what I would work on here. All right, next guy. All right, let's get into this next guys. So, formatting and structure. So they have their experience, they have their skills, they have their education. I would move your education above skills. Do they have any projects? If they don't have any projects, that's fine because they have a ton of work experience. I think the sections are fine. They're good. No callouts there. Let's look at their bullet points. Accelerated decision making for complex business contracts by designing business rule validation workflows, integrating with mediator design pattern and .NET Core backend, boosting scalability and maintainability. Enhance user productivity by developing an auto routing quote publishing feature, optimizing backend to front end workflows using Signal R for real time communication, reducing contract processing time by 30%. Move your metric up to the front. I had to read so much just to find that metric. Enabled seamless collaboration across teams and services by integrating Azure Service Bus for asynchronous workflows, achieving low latency and large scale for inter-service communication and unlocking scalability for a future. Your bullet points are long and they're good, but they're not great because they're not results oriented and don't show the business impact or don't show much metrics. So they're kind of telling me what you did, but I also need to know why you did it and what was the impact. And that's harder to do. You're kind of just listing out like a list of responsibilities that you're doing. Modernize CI/CD pipelines by migrating legacy pipelines to YAML. How many lines is the ideal bullet point? Probably 2. You have to move your metrics to the start. Okay, so my main advice for this resume is we want it to be structured accomplish X as measured by Y by doing Z. And have it more results oriented. See, this right away just says saved 1 mil. I didn't even have to read it. And I'm already interested. Oh, how'd they save 1 mil? You know what I mean? So, resume is decent. I would waitlist this resume. Okay. Next one. Okay, how's their formatting? Good formatting. Projects. Nice to have an involvement area. Has all their socials and links to their socials, which is good. 4.0 GPA. Contrary to popular belief, I think this actually helps you get interviews. A lot of people don't want to say it, but I think having a high GPA, 3.8, 3.9, 4, whatever, helps you get interviews. Can probably kick this technical skills to the bottom. But that's just... So one thing related to this is there's nothing bolded. So maybe try bolding all of the metrics and see what that does for your resume. I know in the Google interview or the Google video on how to write a good resume, they say to bold the metrics. Some people say don't bold the metrics. I like to bold the metrics. Otherwise, when I'm reading this, there's a lot in here, but I don't know where to look. And usually bolding helps the viewer figure out where to look and where your metrics are. Monitored network performance and troubleshot outages to prevent disruptions in services, resulting in a 25% decrease in downtime and improving overall network reliability for over. So move your your accomplishment and how you measured it to the start of the bullet point, and then say how you did it afterwards. So just follow this, like I've already mentioned in a few other people. But already right here, I already like this person's bullet point more than the last person's because they're showing me the business impact. So for example, they said they monitored network performance and troubleshot outages, which resulted in a 25% decrease in downtime and improved overall network reliability for 300 residents. That shows pretty good results and impact of the work that they did. And they have metrics. They didn't even have to talk about the specific technologies that they use. But as an employer, I barely care. As long as I know that these are the things that they achieved. These are the results that they've driven. I don't really care about the technology that they used, honestly. If they could come to my company and like decrease downtime by 20% or like reduce manual updates by 25% or improve issue resolution times by 40%, regardless of what technology they use, I know that they did it once, they can do it again. when you start working, you start to realize that it's all about behaviors and not really the technologies that they use. So you pretty much hire people on behaviors, and behaviors are what you want to exhibit in your resume. So already this person, I'll take this. I'll put this person up for interview. Okay, clear sections, projects, no leadership and activity section, which is fine for now. I like how the sections are clearly delineated. Graduation date is good. It's there. GPA is solid and it's there. Relevant coursework. Technical skills, maybe kick it to the bottom so I could just see your education and then see your work experience right away. Because your work experience is really good here. You want to show it off right away. So they worked at AWS, IBM, and company and some random company. Right away, it piques my attention because they worked in some big companies and some companies that I know. Also, this is something recruiters actually look at, or you could already see that this one stood out a little bit more than the others because some of the companies that they worked at. Usually, people try to say that they don't want to bias towards people working at these big tech companies, but as you saw, this when you just see some of these big tech companies on there, it piques people's attention a little bit more. All right, let's read some of the bullet points. Develop the hardware monitor system in Python for thousands of globally distributed hosts, improving health and performance monitoring accuracy by 30% through real-time metric analysis. I would move the metric to the front. The accomplishment and measurement to the front. Engineered a scalable gRPC infrastructure in Golang, enabling the efficient transmission of hardware metrics to DynamoDB, and implementing proactive health monitoring measures, reducing hardware-related SEV2 incidents by 90%. Update a dashboard in Django to display real-time hardware health metrics, enabling the team to monitor all hosts and proactively address potential issues. Revamp the 4-year-old test suite of 100 plus tests in C Sharp and Excel VBA, which led to the identification and resolution of a major product regression. Yeah, the main thing here is I would try reformatting to add your accomplishment or what you accomplished and how you measured it at the start of the bullet point, and then say exactly what you did to accomplish those at the back half of the sentence, and then we'll see how that reads. So, yeah, reformat it. I think it's a decent resume. Honestly, I'd pass them just for their work experience. They have good worked at at least two really big companies that I know have a high hiring bar. So I just automatically know that. I mean, this person might has decent work experience. They have good merit. Okay, let's look at their projects. Yeah, spent some time on this guy already. Move on to the next person. A lot of these ones, I'm just looking for red flags. Anything that's super wrong with the resume, and then just small things to point out for now. Okay, one sec. So this next person. Okay, their sections are good. The way that they do these bullet points are a little bit weird. So why the indentation is really weird and the spacing is awkward. And then why do they have a final horizontal line here? The formatting is weird. I would fix the formatting 100%. Expected graduation is there. Languages, technologies. So manages course materials and undergraduate teaching assist. Manages course materials and undergraduate teaching assistants. Aiding the instructor in boosting students' confidence and skill in computer science topics. Paul, that would be crazy. That might be a good idea. That would be crazy. Assessing students' mathematical and programming skills in weekly assignments and sections. Providing feedback for improvement through the leading of practice problems. Man, the bullet points here could be improved a lot. They're not really showing. They're kind of just listing out the job responsibilities of what you did. So I would look for ways to improve your bullet points, make it more results oriented, find ways to add metrics, and yeah, just make the bullet points hit a little more. Other than that, fix the formatting a bit too. So this resume is just super empty. So each line is less than each bullet point is less than a line. So first off, the bullet points are not great. Develop the folder organizer to streamline and declutter directories. Implemented file segregation based on metadata. Implemented pre-check and post-check routines, failure handling, and inline image migration for the DC migration feature, ensuring seamless transitions and efficient resolution of issues. Implemented deployment logs for the sandbox feature, enhance rule deployment. Yeah, these bullet points, they're a little short. They lack metrics. They don't really tie into the business accomplishments or the results that they drove at the company. So yeah, when it comes to sections, the sections are good. And the skills, everything in this resume is shorter than it needs to be. The bullet points are shorter. I mean, the skills are kind of a small section. Maybe add more skills. No metrics, no results. So that's where you could improve a lot on here. It's probably in this section right here. Building out the experience and accomplishments and showing you have more technical depth and more technical depth and more just merit, more interesting things. Just throw in as many interesting and big projects that you could possibly think of. I'm sure you've done them, but they're just not here, or if they're here, they're in some bullet points that aren't popping up enough for me to find them. Career objective. Take this out. I'm not really into those career objectives, and I've seen other videos of people just say don't even include that. I used to do this before. It just wastes space. You could get a couple projects in there, an extra project or work experience. Throw your skills to the bottom. Your work experience, yeah, okay. You have you have the sections of work experience, achievements, projects. So first off, yeah, the ordering is a bit off. Maybe throw your work experience to the top. What's the difference between professional experience and projects? They should just say projects if it's just projects. If it's professional experience, like, isn't professional experience the same thing as work experience? So your sections are a bit off when it comes to there. The ordering of your projects is also off. I would put my work experience, my projects, my education, then my achievements. Then I would delete the career objective and maybe have skills last. And then looking at your bullet points kind of just list out roles and responsibilities. So what did you do? You're building X using React, Redux, and Firebase, right? You're building features using SQL database. You could definitely improve a lot on the bullet points here. Just put better bullet points, more technical bullet points that sound more technically impressive. Tie it to the results that you drove and add metrics. So the main thing with this resume is a lot with the formatting. The formatting is off, and the bullet points could be improved a lot more to just pop out more. Just be more technically impressive, show metrics, and be more results oriented. Why are people putting in their names when I told them to anonymize? But some people, they want me to show their name. They're really proud of their resume, so they say no, I don't want to anonymize it. Just review it the way it is. So what do we have here? Okay, good sections with has leadership as well. Leadership, open source contributor, Google Interview Genius AI. Real time AI interview feedback system. Oh, this is cool. He was an open source contributor. I like this one. This is really cool. See, this resume is already good because they have other things that kind of interest me. They're open source contributor. I would interview them just on that to get to know what they worked on there, and it shows some initiative. Education, McMaster University has the expected graduation date, which is good. Product manager intern. Okay, this is one person I would definitely hire. Or not hire, like, would move forward. Let's look at their bullet points. See, their bullet points already sound technical and have metrics. Deployed a scalable education platform and content management system using AWS EC2 Kubernetes Docker, reducing setup time by 40%, while collaborating with a team of 5 to optimize backend architecture. Developed an interactive and responsive React frontend, implementing Solidity smart contracts to track student progress through courses, creating verifiable records for each module completed. Boosted quarterly revenue to over 24,000 by integrating new technologies such as Three.js and Flutter, expanding service offerings and tracking new clients. See, I like the business impact of these bullet points. Even their projects have good metrics. Achieve processing capacity of 1,000 requests per minute while within allocated token limits, ensuring efficient performance of real-time feedback under heavy usage. Yeah, this is a really good resume already. You see how their resume has metrics, are results oriented, shows that they're contributing open source, has good technical skills, shows clearly when they graduate. All of the sections are lined up correctly, are in the correct order. This one definitely giving an interview. This is the best resume I've seen so far. Way better than the other ones. For those reasons that I mentioned. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, where did this person work? Oh, these are just projects, so they have no work experience. That's fine. Okay, first off, remove these soft skills. I don't need to know you have attention to detail, you're problem solving, you have teamwork. I need I need to know that not from you just listing out the soft skills you have, but by the substance of your bullet points. So if your bullet points tell me that you worked on a team of 5 to deploy a API, or you worked on some highly secure feature that required a lot of attention to detail to ensure that it doesn't get hacked, that's way better than just listing out your soft skills. I mean, yeah, these dates are kind of weird. You should show for projects. It's weird when you did it to talk about that. So yeah, remove the soft skills area. 4.0 GPA, solid, pretty good. Try to get it to 4.3. Projects. Trained LSI topic model to classify off-topic segments in video lecture transcripts, integrating natural language processing techniques. Converted lecture transcripts from word-based representation to term frequency inverse. Applied essential pre-processing steps, including lowercasing text. I mean, these are what was the so this kind of just show he kind of just listed out what he needed to do in order to train this classifier. Like I did this pre-processing. I did use a TF IDF. I used right leverage NumPy. I think the bullet point is okay, but it can be a lot better. And a good example of the somebody's project who had a lot better bullet points was the last guy's, because it it was more results oriented. It showed impact, and it had metrics. This one is sort of just listing out what are the different steps that they took in order to train that classifier. Like I still don't know what this classifier does and what it would be used for. Because pretend you did say exactly what this classifier does and what it's used for. If I was a hiring manager and I saw that you built this classifier and it might relate to a classifier that I need to get done, or a classifier that we already built and are maintaining, it would help a lot. Or then I would maybe interview this person. But right now I can't really tell what the classifier does exactly, just what technologies they use, which is still important, but it could be better. God, what is this? Okay. First off, what the font is weird on this one. Education First has their graduation date, which is good. Yeah, like if you're training a model, if you're training a model, shouldn't you also talk about the metrics like the accuracy, the recall, the precision, just like all the different metrics that you use in order to tell me the performance of that classifier. If you deployed it, can you talk about like the queries per second it can handle or whatever? Like, talk about how you served it. There's so much more that they can talk about there. Okay, let's look at their sections. Decent sections. I would think about adding a leadership section if they have any. Rebuild 20-year-old travel notice application, transitioning from a monolithic architecture to a cloud-based microservice design, reducing technical depth and improving maintainability. Okay. Utilize Next.js, React.js, and TypeScript for logic and server-side rendering. Achieved 80% unit test coverage using Jest. Deployed to multi-staging. Deployed to multiple staging environments, including production via AWS CDK. Established CI/CD pipelines for automated testing and deployment. Collaborated with product management to test. So they're kind of just listing their roles and responsibilities. It could be improved by not just listing the roles and responsibility, but tying it, like with a lot of these, just tie it back to the business metric, tie it back to the results. I want to see what results you drove at the company. Those are always going to be better. These ones are second or are underneath it. They're still good, but you need them to be great in this type of market. Developed a web application inspired by Grammarly to detect and highlight systematic. So yeah, I think it's good. Like has a lot of super technology focus. It just doesn't. I just don't see how or where they drove business impact off the jump. Look, this next person. Shadow Vox, what's up? So we have. So first off, why is the name, and then maybe move this above this horizontal line. Sections, education, projects, experience, skills. Not bad. If you already have work experience, you should move your work experience above the projects. Why is the experience underneath the projects? I care about your experience more than your projects because that's real stuff you did. Maybe you can highlight or bold some of the metrics so that they can pop out. That's good. You have your expected grad date. You say what bachelor degree you're taking, your GPA, some of the courses you've taken. I wouldn't really put ongoing coursework and completed coursework. I would just say relevant courses that I took and just put it there. If they ask you about that relevant course, you could just say that you're just taking it. You're currently taking it. So let's look at their work experience. Conducted bi-weekly office hours to clarify and enhance understanding about fundamentals of software development concept for 100 plus students. Yeah, maybe move the metric. Maybe it could start off as something related to taught 100 plus students, or try to see if you can move the metric to the start. But even for this one, this is it doesn't really work for this bullet point. But that's where I would try to, with some of the bullet points, I would try to see if it would look better with the metrics at the start. You don't have to do it with every bullet point. It's not a hard rule, but a lot of the times, sometimes it could be improved if you move the metric to the start. Yeah, the main thing with here is I just don't know where to look. You should bold a lot of the. You should bold some of these metrics. Develop the Django backend that fetches financial data from Polygon API and stores it in a Postgres database. Integrate a pre-trained linear regression machine learning model to predict stock prices 2 months ahead. Okay, well, what was the accuracy? What was the precision? What was the recall? See, like these could. So the main thing here would just have a bit. Throw some metrics in there. Add some results, not just your responsibilities or what you did. More metrics. That's where we can improve here. Would be this section. All right, I need to take a 5 minute break to regain my voice. Let's move on to but afterwards we'll move on to this next person. So we got a Carleton grad. Cup noodles all day, every day. I'm in San Francisco. So we have a Carleton University grad, Ottawa, Canada. Expected graduation April 2028. GPA 3.9. 3121. Okay, Ottawa, Canada, Carleton University, Bachelor of Engineering, Software Engineering. Expected graduation April 2028. GPA 3.9. So they have their skills. Maybe throw the skills to the bottom, the projects. Remove the communication section for sure. You look at this guy. Developed a detailed README, improving onboarding efficiency by 30%. This guy took the ad metrics too literally. That's so funny. Reduce load times by 25% through real-time error handling and performance tuning. Use SQLite for storage and React Router for smooth navigation. So these bullet points could just be a lot better. They don't sound that technical, and the metrics seem a little made up. So yeah, I think just think deeply about the app that you made and try to really think about what are the coolest things on this project that I worked on. What makes this project different than, or why would somebody even care that I did this project? Authored a detailed README with setup and featured. Yeah, he's just throwing stuff in there. I think he just needs to work on bigger projects and harder projects and try to build out projects. If you can't come up with good bullet points for your project, maybe it's because that project is not a great project, as in it's just a shallow project. Try to work on a project similar to what Nabil was working on in college. Those ones hit. Software engineer. So just the white spacing here is already off. Oh, it already goes into 2 pages. Okay, remove the projects. They're going into way too many spaces. I mean the bullet, or I think it just got formatted weird. Okay, let's look at their experience. Built dynamic React.js websites featuring advanced CSAP animations fully from scratch. Developed sophisticated 3JS. Ensured all projects were complete on time to the highest quality standards. Maintained a perfect 5-star rating across all projects reflecting any technical proficiency, proactive communication, and ability to exceed client expectations. Designed the user interface and handled front-end development. Built and optimized the back-end for scalability. Led the team. Tasks were completed and milestones met. Submitted a full stack ready to use. Yeah, these bullet points. These bullet points could be a lot better, more results oriented. I mean, yeah, the bullet points here don't slap. Formatting is off too. It would improve the formatting. Okay, let's start from the back here a little bit. Actually, I'm just gonna keep going from top from in chronological order because I loaded these up in chronological order. So whoever is gonna watch these later to find out where my feedback on them, they can just refer to it. Okay, I already looked at this person's. All right, what do we have here? Education, experience, coursework, projects, skills, achievements. Okay, their sections are a bit weird. For example, I would put in the coursework with their education, the same way some of the other students had it, where it's just a small section of related courses and all the different courses that they did. So basically this person has they added a section to talk about how they took databases. I don't know. I wouldn't include this. I mean, yeah, they have the Google Aura where they did there was Sweet Intern, develop Vision OS features for the YouTube client on the Apple Vision Pro. Service the number one feature, requests of hundreds of developers over a wide range of individual teams. Made use of internal tools to spin up a stubby server to host. Employed different data structures such as maps and arrays to parse. Modernized the existing Google Place demo. Developed UI elements. These bullet points, I think the bullet points could be a lot better. They could sound a lot more technical, could be more results. With a lot of these ones, it's more just try to think hard of the bullet points and make the bullet points better and better over time. Look at them again, make them better. Do like 6, 7, 8 iterations, and each time try to make the bullet points a little bit better. Because these bullet points, it seems like they're just first or second draft. I mean, this is a decent. The main good thing about this person's resume is that they worked at Google. Other than that, if this work experience was some other random work experience, I don't know if I'd even pass it for the next interview, or I don't know even know if I would consider it for interview. Did you already look at this person? Okay. No. How do you submit your resume? Submit your resume through the Discord. It's linked. It's a pinned comment. So California State University, San Marcos. Expected graduation date May 2026. So they have their skills, they have their experience, they have their leadership, they have their projects. Why not just have black font or black colored text? I mean, the blue is okay, but blue is usually for links. I guess it does make it stand out a little bit, but I don't know. Should every bullet point have metrics? Because not all mine does. Should I make up BS? Not every bullet point has metrics. right? If you can't come up with metrics, don't just make it up like that guy who with the README that improved their README improved onboarding by 30%. But if you can't find a project or a work experience where you drove business metrics or you have a lot of results and metrics and a lot of cool things to say about it, then what you should focus on is when you're doing that internship, pushing towards projects that are going to be good on your resume when it comes to showing that you drove clear results at the company, show that you drove clear business metrics at the company. And these are all things you should keep in mind when you're doing your internship. Is my project going to look good on my resume? Is my project going to lead me to that next position that I want to get? Okay. I'm going to have to break this up into two videos because it's long.